Hello, my name's Charlie Jarvis. Welcome to North Pool Farm. I'm a fifth generation farmer, farming in partnership with my father and grandparents. We've been farming this area since the end of the Great War in 1919. We're farming about 750 acres, stretching from the edge of the Kingsbridge Estuary all the way through to the Torcross line. We're predominantly arable. We've got a few sheep and we've got quite a few stewardship schemes trying to look after the environment. Today I'm here to talk to you about water management and trying to keep our waters clean. That's all down to nutrients. From a farmer's perspective, we want to maintain all the nutrients on farm because it costs us money and we don't want that going down into the water. Over the last few years, we've been noticing more and more rainfall, which has been causing a few issues with wash. This farm as it is, we've got a fair water catchment area above us. That's all coming down, comes down the road, comes into this gateway here. You can see it's all quite grassy at the minute. And what was happening was it was coming in there and then going down across the field, creating a massive gully and taking soil and nutrients down into the estuary, which wasn't good for anyone. So what we did under mid-tier was we planted this hedge and to try and create a bit of a dam really. So down there is some pipes as an overflow. And the idea is as the water comes down, some soil normally comes down with it, it'll gather there, slow it up, and then the hedge will let the water slowly trickle through and then carry on down to the estuary being clean water. Any soil or nutrients should be deposited down there, and every couple of years we'll go down there, dig up any soil and take it back to the top of the hill for it to start its journey again. So that's trying to retain all the nutrients on the farm we can. We have a 150 breeding ewe sheep flock here, and this is where we do most of the handling of the sheep. A few years ago, Catchment Sensitive gave us some funding to put these two roofs over it all, because before that it was just an open yard. So this means we can handle the sheep in the dry, and also when the sheep, as you can probably see here, do their business there, it's not washed away. Under the roof it stays dry, so therefore it gets crusted up. We can scrape all this up and then apply it to the fields when later on in the season. Before that, as you can probably see where it's not shaded, covered, it'll get wet, it'll act as slurry, it'll go out the drain and down, and then we'll catch it in the field below, but then that's wasted nutrients. If we can retain it here, and then we can put it on the fields where we need it for better utilisation. And it's also a bonus, we get to stay dry when working with the livestock. Every field on the farm has its own nutrient management plan for that specific crop in there. So the idea is we need to know what we're getting out of the soil, so what's to know what we need to put onto that crop to get the maximum yield without wasting any nutrients. So the first thing is we need to find out what is in the soil. So we are using a company called Omnia with Terra mapping. So they go around with a little buggy like that with a spinning disc on the front. That scans the background radiation from the soils. So that gives us what our potash levels, our phosphate levels, magnesium and lime indexes. So from that, they generate these pretty maps. As we can see on this field here, there's quite a lot of variations across the field. Now, for the majority of crops, our target is an index of 3. So if we've got an index of 3, that is enough nutrients in the soil for that crop for that year. So we don't need to apply any more. When it gets up to 4s and 5s, that's too much, so they've got too much nutrients there. But also down here, when you go to more to the reds, that's when we need to apply a lot more. So what we'll use, we'll create a map, we'll put it into our fert spreader, which is 1 metre sections, and also variable rates. It'll adjust the amount of fertiliser it puts on. So if I've got TSP in the fert spreader, I'll go across where it's blue like that, it'll be off, and as we go down, it will turn on. And as it comes to the lighter spots, it'll apply more and more fertiliser. So we're trying to apply the fertiliser in the correct places to get all the indexes up to 3, so that's enough for the crop to use. Anything over that is wasting our money, and also there's a chance it will go down into the estuary. So using these maps, we are getting our potash levels and our phosphate levels. So we'll apply this in the spring, and then through the growing period in the spring, we'll use satellite imagery and we'll take photos of the crop throughout the year. The idea of that is the satellite imagery will be seeing the darker spots will be the higher yielding stuff, and the lighter spots will be the poorer crops. So in theory, anything that's nice dark green, that should be meeting its yield potential. Anything that's slightly lighter, that might be due to waterlogging or some other issues, it won't achieve the yield we want it to. So we'll start cutting back our nitrogen applications. We are here now in one of our winter barley stubble fields. This field is facing down into the Slapton Ley SSI. What we try to do on the farm is once all the grain and straw is harvested, we'll establish a cover crop as quick as possible. That'll include a 4-way mix of buckwheat, white mustard, phacelia and oil radish. The aim being that gets plants growing in the soil while in between crops. They'll put down tap roots. We can find a few like this. So all this is trying to do is these plants will go down, they'll get any nutrients that the crop has left behind, so they hold on to it. It'll also keep the soil fibrous, increasing its water capacity. So as a day like today, instead of all the nutrients being in a stale soil and then being washed off down there, these plants should be holding on to it. Now these plants, ideally they'll be in the ground for about 6 weeks. And that's if the weather plays ball in the autumn. So we'll go through, we'll destroy it, and then we'll plant the following winter crop. But if we have a horrific autumn like we did in 2019, where we can't get on the ground, these crops will stay there right through till February, hopefully when the weather dries up again, and then we'll be able to carry on with the next cropping. So it's all about trying to keep all the nutrients in the field, if there's any left over, and keep that soil alive and active. As soon as you spray it all off and leave it, it starts going stagnant and stale, which is not what we want.